Good Monday morning and welcome to another episode of Coding in AL. We are in video 2 of the beginner series, and today we are going to download Visual Studio Code. This is the IDE that we will use to develop AL extensions, and secondly we are going to download the extensions that we'll need to code in AL. And then finally, we will download the symbols for our applications and build our first miniest extensions. And for that, please stay tuned. And if you haven't watched the first video, and if you're here in the second without watching and applying what we learned in the first video, please watch the first video first, and then we will continue with this video. So stay tuned.
Hii ni Tech na Msangi ya jishinde.com.
Let us proceed. Go to your Google and search for download VS Code. Click on that link and then you'll find a link to code.visualstudio.com. Open the link, and then on opening the link, depending on the operating system that you're using, you'll find different downloads options that you have here. For me, I am using Windows operating system, and on this part you'll find there's a user installer and the system installer. The user installer means that the Visual Studio Code will only be available for one user. You'll not be having administrator privileges, while the system installer installs for all the users who will use the system. So I prefer using the system installer because you'll have administrator privileges and you can run as many instances as you want, and all the settings will cut across. But this user installer, it installs in your app data local in the file system, and it's only restricted to that one particular user. So choose the best that fits your usage needs and then download. If you're not an administrator in the machine that you're using, probably you could consider using the user installer. I will let mine download, so you can pause. We'll pause for now as it's lightweight though as it downloads, and then you can come back once the download has been done, and then we will proceed from there. But meanwhile, okay, VS Code is a lightweight. Okay, here it is. We can just go through this. It's a lightweight but powerful source code editor which runs on your desktop and is available for Windows, Mac OS. It comes with built-in support for JavaScript, TypeScript, and Node.js, and has a rich ecosystem of extensions for other languages that are C, C++, C#, Java, Python, PHP, Go, and runtime such as .NET, very important, Unity. Okay, we also have the top extensions. We have the Python extension. They have not mentioned AL here, but we know it is there, and Jupyter, C++, Pylance, Live Server, Prettier. These are code formatter. So Visual Studio Code, unlike the Visual Studio, the main IDE, Visual Studio Code is extensionalized, meaning you only download what you want to use. If you want to code in Python, you only download the Python extension in Visual Studio Code. If you only want to code in AL, for instance, you will download the AL extensions that you want. So it has finished downloading. If yours hasn't, you can pause the video and wait for it to finish downloading. So we'll open the setup right away and install Visual Studio Code. Accept the license agreement. I'll leave everything as default for now. Now there's one important thing. I don't need a desktop icon, but I need to add open with code action to Windows Explorer file context menu, and I need to add open with code action to Windows Explorer directory context menu, meaning when you have a file, when you right click on the Windows Explorer, it will give you the option of opening with code. You can also right click on a directory or a folder and it will give you the option of open with code. So I leave that option selected for me, and let's move forward and we install Visual Studio Code on our machines. It is as easy as that. The next step will be to install the extension for Visual Studio Code, as it comes as a shell. It gives you the option, okay, mine is done, we'll finish and launch it. It gives you the option to install what you want. That's so amazing. What do you want to use? That will be the question. I've opened it here. So it has already detected Docker on my system. Do you want to install the extension for it? Okay, no, not for now. We are in the beginner series, Visual Studio. So when you press on Control Shift X, you can open the extensions here. This is the Docker icon. It gives you the opportunity to install that. So I'll search, I believe it should be there, L extension pack. Where is it? We want to install the L extension pack. Here it is. We can just click on it by Waldo. Okay, it gives you everything you need for L development. I believe this is the easiest way of installing Visual Studio Code. For a beginner, maybe this probably could be the best way, because you'll have a variable helper, dev tools, and what else? Object designer. There's Docker as well, PowerShell, Git lens, VS Code, Git history to do, REST client. There are so many extensions here that you might need. So I'd prefer, as a beginner, okay, let me see which is the best option for us. Let me go through. Okay, they seem to be many. They seem to be many, and it could confuse you as a beginner. Okay, I believe the best way, instead of installing the whole extension pack, you'll have so many extensions and you won't know which one is doing what, which one isn't doing what. Let's just go for the all and install that L extension. So L development tools for Dynamics 365 Business Central. Okay, mine is already installed because I uninstalled the Visual Studio, so it has since I use the same settings, the extension is still installed. It has been disabled because your workspace is not trusted. I believe it's because I uninstalled the Visual Studio Code for me to install it afresh. Okay, now we can now reinstall it. This okay, enabling these extensions required a trusted workplace. If you don't trust the authors of these files, we do not recommend continuing, as the files may be malicious. I trust the workplace and install. So we have it now ready installed here, the L extension pack. Sometimes it might take a little bit of time from your side, but for now, this is what we need to get started. We are using the minimalistic approach, like the 20% that we need to get started. We eliminate all the other nitty-gritties for the purpose of speed, so that we can easily get started, and then we'll build on top of that later. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is go to the administration of Business Central. Business Central administration. Just search in your machine Business Central administration. Open the administration. It will give us now this administration where our machine is installed. Our Dynamics L is installed. BC 190. Here it is. we will expand it. So the default, when you install the demo on your administration, I believe you will only be having one instance here. Click on the BC190, and then you'll see all these tabs here. The tab that we're interested in is the one that is under port 7049, the development tab. We want to enable the developer service endpoint. This will enable our applications to be extended. By enabling this, just click on enable developer service endpoint. Save this setting. Have I saved? Not yet. Okay, the new setting, yes. Now you need to restart after saving the setting. Where is it? We click on this instance and we restart it. It is as simple as that. Open the administration, go to BC190, expand this tab here, go to the development tab, enable developer development endpoint, and we are done. Just like that. Restart it, give it time to restart, and then we proceed to our VS Code. Meanwhile, as it is restarting, we can be looking at the location that we want our extensions installed. Where do we want our extensions to be published or installed when we are running our VS Code? It has restarted now, so we need to open a folder here. And for me, I have a folder here known as AL in my volume. I will create a new folder. I'll call it beginner series. AL beginner series. That is the name that I intend to my extension to be. Then there we are. We have this AL beginner series folder, and now we want to create our first extension. So show all commands. Control Shift P will give you all commands. Control P, it will go to file, find file, stop debugging, toggle terminal. So what do we want to use? We want to use Control Shift P, which shows all commands. And the command that has been recently used and the one that you want to use is this, AL go. If it is not there by default, just type AL and then full colon, you'll find AL go. AL go is the command that will shorten the curve for us to create a new AL extension. It will ask for us, it will ask the path for the extension that we want, and it should be an open folder. So I'll do this. I'll go to open folder so that I can get the location of my folder, and then I'll create a new folder. I'll call it ext beginner extension, and then I will copy this path here and then cancel, and then I'll go back to Control Shift P, AL go, and then I'll paste that folder. Remember, this folder should be a folder that is new, that has not been used, and then we will click on OK. You see, the folder path is not valid, the folder already exists. So this folder should not be existing, this beginner extension. So let me delete it, move to recycle bin, and then Control Shift P again, and then we will do that. AL go, and then I'll enter. What is happening? AL go. Okay. Yes, there we are. It has accepted. It wants a folder that is not been used. Okay, which is the release that we are using? We used the 2021 release wave 2. That is the one that we downloaded in the first video. Please watch the first video if you haven't. And then we click on it, the platform, and it will create for us an AL command. We are not hosting on the sandbox. We are using a local server. We choose your own server. Here we are. Then hastily, since we installed the demo, the authentication will be, just delete the default one that is here. Let me go back on the launch.json file that will auto open after you have selected your own local server. Delete this file completely and hit control space, and then on the authentication choose Windows. Got it? After that, I believe that is everything that we need to change, because everything is default, including the startup file. So the next thing that we are gonna do is hit Control Shift P, and then the next command that is auto populating there is al download symbols. If you don't have that command, please type al and then :space download space symbols. You'll find the command. But since for mine it is here by default, I'll click on al download symbols. It will send a request to my BC server. Yeah, something is wrong. It might fail because it won't get the location of my BC server. The BC server should be localhost. Yes. And the server instance should be BC190, because that is the default instance that has installed on my machine. I didn't say that, sorry for that, a little bit of speed. But let's go back and do the download symbols. We are sending the request there to download symbols, and you can see the message here, success message, that symbols have been downloaded. So if you're not using port 7049, which is the default that it is sending symbols here, you need to add the port here to specify the exact port that you're using. If it is a different port that your system is using apart from 7049, in your development tab on your administration, please specify that different port. But for me, it is 7049. And you'll now be able, you'll have downloaded the symbols, which means now when you go to our hello world.al file, we will now get the intelligence for like this customer list. When you click on customer list, it extends customer list. If I remove this, for instance, and I hit control space, I'll get the customer list here preloaded for me with IntelliSense. And for now here we have our page extension. This is a T-page extension with the symbol 5100 that will extend the customer list. Remember, this series is defined here. Where is it? Okay, it's supposed to be in app.json. The ID ranges. We have the ID ranges from 5100 to 5149. So it means that if I try it and change this to 50009, it will throw an error because it will not detect this number. That is where it is defined. That's why it's not by accident that this number is 5100. Our extension is ready. It is as easy as that. You just download Visual Studio, install the extension for coding in AL, enable developer endpoint, change the port that you are using, and you are ready to go. You have already set up your development environment, your local development environment for coding in AL. And what we'll do is not Control Shift P. Okay, it is just in my mind. We need to run this command. Run without debugging, but I believe F5 is better. We start debugging. We create our extension or install our extension to our own server. After that, I believe it should auto load. Okay, but never mind. What we can do is go to the local host BC190 in the location where we installed our extension. This is not my default browser. As it loads, we are expecting what? We are expecting to, when we open the customer page, we need to get app published, hello world. There it is. It was opening on a different browser. Never mind, we have got it from this other side, a localhost 8080. So when we open the customers page on open, what do we get? App published. Hello world. Congratulations. You have published your first AL extension. And that's it for this video. Please make sure that you finish that part. If you have any challenge, write it in the comments. And may God bless you. I will see you in the next video.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.